homeless. The disco club owner guy kicked me out. He said I was bad for business. I did try getting another job. Donuts, more like go nuts. Yeah, and I got fired from that too. When I said donuts more like go nuts, I meant go nuts. But I think people took it as go away nuts. Oh, and also, the manager of that Dunkin' Donuts is brothers with the disco club owner guy. Just, God, I have really bad luck with the Thompsons. Alright, so for other jobs, my friend Tyler was a bartender a while ago. I could be that, I guess. Ooh, or I could be a model. I've heard I have really great shins. Assassin? So that tower guy, he paid an assassin to try and kill me. So, like, me and him have this whole prank thing going on with... No. No. No! This is what being homeless is like. Since I have nothing else to review, towels. Towels are great. They make you not wet. I'm really grasping at straws. Towels. Everybody knows towels. If you've ever been wet before, then you've used a towel. I hope. They date back to the 17th century and, they're towels. They are towels, alright. Find another use for the towels. This is why being homeless sucks, man. I'm gonna go take a walk to get my mind off things.
On Ian's walk, he found Alexis, the ex-agent, now turning over a new leaf, and creating a company called Clone Corp. The company was made for cloning prized memories. Ian was able to con Alexis out of a free cloning due to him trying to previously kill Ian, and that cloning Ian got was for a burned down house.
It's back. Look at it, my floor, it's back! And look, all the towels I can think of, and look how big they are! Look, my fridge! Look at it, in all her beauty. Wait a second, I don't need this anymore! I don't really have any shaving product because I've never had to shave before, but I got a bunch of toothpicks.
Later.
Dear God, it worked, I guess, but I would not recommend. Wait, actually, I don't even need this beanie anymore. Dear God, I forgot I had hair under there. If I'm being honest, I thought I just went bald. It is so hard to understate how much I love not being homeless anymore. Plus, I love towels, man, but I have so much more stuff to talk about now, like Back to the Future on NES, or Back to the Future 2 and 3 on NES, which, speaking of, trust me, I am going to talk about it someday. Also, both of these games are horrible. Back to the Future on the NES is a very, interesting game. Okay, so you play as Marty, running through the streets of Hill Valley 1955. Okay, so if you just showed me this, no context at all, I would never think this is a Back to the Future video game ever. What on screen resembles Back to the Future? Pretty much nothing. These running sections, they're alright. You know, the screen scrolls, it's an auto scroll, but it scrolls at a fine pace. I guess it's alright. But my favorite part of these is probably the power-ups. So first, you can get a bowling ball type thing. I know it's a bowling ball because later you literally see bowling pins. And the other one is the skateboard. You can only get the skateboard if you already have the bowling ball. The skateboard just makes the screen go faster, you go faster, stuff like that. The skateboard, though, in my opinion, it's actually a pretty good power-up. Honestly, both of them kind of are. The bowling ball is just used to attack enemies and stuff like that. It's your main projectile shooting thing if you have it, because otherwise you're defenseless. And then the skateboard just goes faster. But these things are based on time. So for one, you have a certain amount you only have like 200 seconds. These move way faster than actual seconds, though. And you also have this like picture thing. Remember Back to the Future when there's the picture that disappears, you know, Marty and his siblings. These don't look like Marty and his siblings, but each person in this picture keeps disappearing. And the way you refill it is by collecting these clocks. And it's all about time. You want to get to the end of the stage as fast as possible. And also, if you get hit by any enemies, yeah, you don't have health or anything, but it slows down your time before you can finish the stage. And your picture is still degrading whenever you get hit. It doesn't really become an issue, in my opinion, till the later stages. You know, when everything, like, goes much faster and everything. Like, the picture, like, half of it disappears if you get hit. So overall, though, they're fine. They're They're not good, they're not terrible, they're kind of bad, but they're playable, at least. After you do 4 of these running stages, which, keep in mind, they're the same running stage, you do this cafe diner stage. In the movie, there's a diner stage. This is absolutely terrible. You have to hit 50 of these guys, and for whatever reason, you can't hit their entire body. You can just hit their upper body. And even then, later, there's other diner girls, and they start throwing stuff. It is so hectic. This took me so long to get past. You have to hit 50 of these guys. Man, I thought beating the first boss in Castlevania 4 was hard. Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. Absolutely terrible. Seriously, I barely beat this part. I honestly thought this game was just going to be impossible for me. Once you get the flow of things, you eventually understand it a bit more, but seriously, this part, I hate it so much. After that, you do some more running, and then you get to the school, and you're trying to catch these hearts in a book or ruler or shield, or I don't even know what it is, but you're trying to catch all these hearts. And by this counter at the top right of the screen, you would think, oh, you gotta get 50 hearts. No, you gotta keep catching the hearts for 50 seconds. Honestly, it's not that hard. I got it on my second try, so it wasn't that bad. Which, speaking of, another thing that really annoys me in this game, if you fail at one of these mini-games, you don't just do the mini-game again. No, you have to do another running stage and then the mini-game again. Why? And after you leave the school, you do, guess what? More running. And after a few more running stages, you go to the school dance. It doesn't make sense on the map why the school and the dance are just separate points, because the dance is it's a school dance. That is literally the whole point. Anyways, once you're at the dance, you gotta play this Johnny Be Good type thing. This part is where I gave up. Yeah, I played this for a bit and then died, and then I had to do another running stage, but then later in the game, the running stages get harder, so I failed at the running stage, actually, and then just got a game over. Although, from the one time I played this might honestly be worse than the cafe stage. Basically, you're collecting these music notes and stuff like that, but the way you're moving the guitar, it just feels so weird. And at first, it's fine, but then they just start throwing 100 notes at you, just all of a sudden. It's just so hectic. I will say there is a positive for this one. There's different music. Throughout the entire game, it just plays the same theme. And the only time it doesn't is in the minigames, like the cafe and the school. There's just no music at all. This part does have a different song. This kind of weird version of Johnny Be Good. It's that scene in the movie. This same theme that plays in all of these running stages, including the final stage, which I'll get to in a second, is alright. It's not bad. It's not a very good cover or anything of a Back to the Future theme, but it's fine for a bit. Not if you're playing the game for hours almost, even 10 minutes. It gets sickening. So I'm glad this part has different music. Also, a cool detail is that whenever you beat this part, Marty's parents get together. The next few running stages, the picture doesn't change because you fix the timeline. That's just kind of cool. It's that bit of a attention to detail, that I wish was in the rest of the game. But yeah, after a few more running stages, you actually get to drive the DeLorean. It's the part of the movie when you're trying to get up to 88 miles per hour and you're dodging these lightning bolts, trying to get the lightning bolt to strike. Wait, this part makes what? You're dodging lightning bolts, but you're trying to get to 88 miles per hour. That way, right at the clock tower, you hit the bolt of lightning. Then why are you avoiding all of the other lightning bolts? Oh, also, I forgot to mention, yeah, if you die once at this part, even with all of your lives, immediate game over, straight back to the title screen. And that is the entire game. Yep, if you're doing everything perfectly, no deaths or anything, everything first try, the game is about 20 minutes. Even for an NES game, that is terrible. Especially for the time. This game came out in 1989. Mega Man 2 was already out, Zelda 2, Mario 2, all of these games. And yet Mega Man 2 was 20 minutes and barely has anything. And again, most of that 20 minutes is just the running stages, which are basically the same thing. They change it a bit, gets a little harder, the colors change, but they're largely the same. And also, there is not a password feature or anything. There's no cheat codes. I tried seeing if there was a unlimited lives code, or at least a 30 lives code, like the Konami code. Nothing. Again, there's no password feature. It's just start, and that's it. If you get a game over, back to the title screen. Not a single password feature or anything like that. The game looks okay. The running stages kind of look basic, but stuff like the diner stage and you know, the school stage and maybe even the DeLorean, it doesn't look terrible. You know, not as good as like Mega Man 2, but at the same time, those Mega Man games are like the best looking games on the NES. Also, I will say the game actually does control well. It's responsive, it moves fine, you know, particularly in the running parts. Everything is perfect. You know what I mean? It's all super fluid, pretty good controls. I will say that. They're not slow or delayed or anything, which most of the time is nice. Whenever you die or whatever, it's never because, oh, these controls are so bad, or like, oh, I swear I moved, or I swear I pressed that button. That never really happens in this game. And again, one of my big points is that this game was 1989, 4 years after one of the best movies of all time, Back to the Future, which came out in 1985, okay? By 1989, there's no excuse as to why the game is this bad and why it barely follows the movie. This game is so horrible. I'm gonna gently place it on the ground, nice and safe. It is a really bad game, but I don't know, it's just kind of cool seeing Back to the Future on an NES cartridge. Just, it's Back to the Future, man. And again, there is this Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, but this game is so confusing and just so elaborate that, I don't know, it's probably worse than the first one, honestly. This game is really bad. I do want to beat it someday again, but it barely follows the movie, too many running stages, really hard, especially that cafe stage. Overall, it's just a weird wet fart of a game. See, this is the part where I normally say I love it, but I really don't. Kind of a sour note, I guess. I can say one good thing about this game, though. I would rather play this all day than be homeless. Love you, House. You know what? Love you, too. I can't say that with a straight face.